Hey guys, this is Brownie Boy TV here with your Litheo Battling Association Power Rankings number 3. These power rankings are being released following the round 5 and round 6 matches, so let's get into this. In first place, we have the Welchions are at Freemion. He's continued to remain perfect, which is why there's no way I could have dropped him in the rankings. He's the only undefeated team left in the league at this point. In round 5, he had a 3-0 win against the Shuckles, or Ryan, and in round 6, he had a 2-0 win against the Meganiums, or Brile. They're not the toughest opponents, but he battled well. He brought the right teams, and he just outplayed them all game. As you can see, his round 7 match is against Texas Typhlosions, who's a new team in the league, and I'll explain that further later. In round 8, he's got to battle actually Milan or Corey. His team MVP so far is Mega Metric with 18 points. His record 6-0 with a differential of plus 15. In second place, with the Pori Arcanines are at Nuclear Android. He's just battling really well also. He's rebounded from his loss in round 2, I believe it was, to the California Caracostas. In round 5, he had a 2-0 win against New Jersey Meganiums, which is Brile. And in round 6, he had a 3-0 win against the Portland Timbers, which is myself. He's just continuing to battle really well. He outplanned against me, which is the main reason he beat me in the game. Like, I'm not going to say that he didn't outbattle me at all, but he brought a good team that I didn't expect him to bring, and significantly played a role in the battle. In round 7, he battled St. Louis Remperos, which is Jello or Neil, and in round 8, he's battling the Jubel Relincans, which is Nasser. His team MVP so far is Metagross with 22 points. His record's 5-1 with a differential of plus 15. In third place with the Tennessee Raichus are at Shadowchew36. Shadow's really bounced back since that forfeit that he had, so he truly doesn't have a loss in this season other than the forfeit that he had to give up because he broke the Mega Evolution clause in the league. In round 7, he's battling the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is Bogut, and that'll be a really great battle because those two every battle that those two have is always a great battle, so that'll be fun to watch. And in round 8, he's battling the Texas Typhlosions. His team MVP so far is Ditto with 23 points, which pretty much just explains everything that Shadow is. He's so tricky and so sneaky with his team and his sets that a Pokemon like Ditto on his team is just evil. His record so far is 5-1 with a differential of plus 14. In fourth place, we have the Kaprun Litwicks, or at Virdelet. He took over for the Toronto Star Raptors and renamed his team the Kaprun Litwicks, and he's just been battling insanely well for a newcomer in the league. In round 5, he had a 3-0 win against Litheo, which is Matt, which is last season's champion, and then in round 6, he had a 4-0 win against the Rhydons, who's Ab, who made it to the semifinals of the playoffs last season. So those are two great wins for him, and I expect him to just continue on and keep doing his thing. In round 7, he has to battle Florida for Alligators, which is Jody. That'll be a good match. In round 8, he's battling the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is Bogut, and that'll be another great match. So he's got two tough matches coming up, but he just had two tough opponents in his previous matches, and he won 3-0 and 4-0. So I'd say that he's probably heavily favored in those matches. Team MVP so far is Mega Tyranitar with 18 points, and his record's 4-2 with a differential of plus 6. In fifth place with the Cleveland Cavaliers at Sandshrew Bogut. In round 5, Bogut had a 3-0 win against Portland Timbers, which is myself. In round 6, he had a 4-0 win against Texas Typhlosion, which is our newcomer in the league. Bogut's just battling really, really well. He's bounced back from his early losses against Chris and Freemion. He's just doing everything that's right with his team. He's running really cool sets, and it's really hard to beat a good battler running good sets on his team that are specified for his opponent. In round 7, he's battling the Tennessee Raichus, which is Shadow. Again, that'll be an outstanding battle to watch. In round 8, he's battling the LA Nido Kings, which is going to be JJD Hernandez, and that'll be a great match to watch also. Bogut has the Alpha Division MVP so far, which is Latios with 30 points. His record's 4-2 with a differential of plus 9. In sixth place with the Rhydons are at Dude Justice. In round 5, he had a 5-0 win against the Baltimore Bisharps, which is a crossover match against Riley. And in round 6, he had a tough 4-0 loss against Kaprun Litwicks, which is against Virdelet. Ab is just a really great battler. He brings really cool sets to his games, and against Riley, he just outplayed him. I'd say that he fully deserved that win. And then round 6, he just got outplayed by Virdelet. So it's really just a toss-up. That match was pretty much a toss-up. It relied on how well Ab was able to break down Virdelet's team, or how well Virdelet was able to counter one specific Pokemon on Ab's team that he didn't think he'd be able to, which was Durant. And Virdelet was able to overcome that, and he was able to pull out the win. In round 7, he's battling the San Antonio Shinx, which is Chris, and then round 8, he's battling the Florida for Alligators, which is Jody. Both of those matches will be tough for Ab, but it'll also be really tough for his opponents because Ab's obviously a great battler. He's ranked 6th, so that'll be fun to watch. His team MVP so far is Dragonite with 21 points. His record's 4-2 with a differential of plus 7. Seventh place with the Los Angeles Nido Kings are at JJD Hernandez. JJ is battling really well so far this season. On round 5, he got semi-upset, I'd say, in the crossover match against the Jubel Relincans, which is Nasser. JJ's got a really tough team, and I thought that he'd be able to pull that one out, but Nasser played really, really well, brought really good sets, and he ended up winning that match. And in round 6, he had a pretty good win against San Antonio Shinx. It was a 4-0 against Chris. So that was a really good battle to watch. In round 7, he's battling the Florida for Alligators, which is Jody. That'll be another great match to watch. In round 8, he's battling Cleveland Cavaliers, which is Bogut. So he's got 2 tough matches upcoming for him. But I'd say almost everyone in the Alpha Division is quite the contender. Well, at least everyone that we've covered so far. His team MVP so far is Gyarados, 26 points. His record is 4-2 with a differential plus 10. In 8th place with the Portland Timbers are Albert Boy TV, which is myself. Quite the slip up the last 2 games, I'd say. I went from perfect from 4-0 to losing 3-0 back-to-back. Granted, my opponents were the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is Bogut, and the Poirier Arcanines, which is Nuclear Android, so they're definitely great opponents, and I'm not trying to take anything away from them. It's just they both outplanned me. Going into the match, I stood very little chance just because I got outplanned completely, so got to definitely get better about that. In round 7, I'm battling New Orleans Shuckles, which is Ryan, and in round 8, I'm battling California Caracosas, which is Texto. My team MVP so far is still Volcarona with 18 points. My team record is 4-2 with a differential plus 4. In 9th place with the Surrey Litheo at Tipster Jones, which is Matt. In round 5, he had a tough 3-0 loss against Kaprun Litwicks. It was against Virdelet. We all know that he's a great battler. Matt and Virdelet both had good plans going into the battle, and it was a really good battle to watch. Just Virdelet was able to pull it out in the end. And in round 6, he had a 4-0 win against Toronto Tyrannotars. Matt just outplayed Giovanni. Matt's got a really powerful team. Giovanni drafted slightly weaker than Matt. He's definitely got a solid team, but Matt just went into the game. He had a good game plan. He was able to execute it. In round 7, he's battling the Baltimore Bisharps, and in round 8, he's battling the Shield of Aegis, which is Kira. His team MVP so far is the Zoomerl with 18 points. His record's 4-2 with a differential plus 1. In 10th place, we have the Jabal Relicancer at Nasser Nasri. He's rounding out the top 10, and in round 5, he had a 2-0 win against LA Nido Kings, which was a great win for him. And then round 6, he had a 5-0 win against the Baltimore Bishops. So Nasri's really turned around his play from earlier in the season. He knows how to use his team. He's got a really cool team, and he's actually somewhat got the premier rain team in the league, I'd say, as he's got a Politoed, and he likes to run Rain Dance on his Amoonguss. So he's definitely using the rain to his advantage because he's got the Mega Scizor, so he's getting rid of Mega Scizor's one weakness, and on top of that, he's got a Swift Swim Kingdra, so he's really using his strengths for him, and he's battling really well with him. In round 7, he's battling the Shield of Aegis, which is Kira. In round 8, he's battling the Poirier Arcanines, which is Nuclear Android. His team MVP so far is Hitmonchan with 18 points. His record's 4-2 with a differential plus 4. In 11th place, we have Action Milan at Corey Brown 48. Corey's been battling much better than he was earlier on in the season. In round 5, he had a 4-0 win against the Baltimore Braviaries, which is Kelly, and in round 6, he had a 2-0 win against the Detroit Pinsirs, which is Rudy. Both those battles, Corey just battled really well. They were both pretty scrappy battles, but Corey was able to pull through. In round 7, he's battling the New Jersey Meganiums, which is Brile, and then in round 8, he's battling the Wolfions at Freedomion. That'll be a really tough battle for him since Freedomion still is yet to lose. And then his team MVP so far is Sharpedo with 18 points. His team record is 4-2 with a differential plus 10. In 12th place with the Florida for Alligators are at Jody A&B. In round 3, Jody had to have a match that was forfeited to him just due to the league rule that you're only allowed to have 3 postponements, and that just had to be a forfeit because we had to find somebody else for the league. So altogether, it just ended up being a 3-0 win for Jody. And then round 5, he had a 2-0 win against the California Caracosas, which was Texto. That was a great win for Jody. Texto was doing really well in the Omega division. He's starting to slip a little bit, but that's a great win for Jody. Jody battled really well against him. And then in round 6, he had a 3-0 loss against Tennessee Raichus. And honestly, Jody is the first person so far in the league, in my opinion, to out-battle Shadow in a match. A couple hacks actually cost Jody the game, but altogether it was a really good battle. I'm not trying to take anything away from Shadow because he did battle well. It's just that was the first battle that I've watched Shadow battle in such a long time that I actually felt that he got outplayed. Upcoming matches for Jody is round 7, he's battling the LA Nido Kings, and in round 8, he's battling the Raider Rhydons. His team MVP so far is Darmanitan with 26 points. His team record is 3-3 with a differential plus 2. In 13th place with the San Antonio Shinx are at Son of Dragon 17. Chris actually got quite a few battles done, as you can see. Round 4, he had another forfeit because the Texas Typhlosions had a forfeit due to the postponement clause. In round 5, he had a 5-0 win against Shield of Aegis, which is Kira, and he just battled really well against him. He's able to set up with his Volcarona and sweep. In round 6, he had a 4-0 loss against LA Nido Kings, but he did battle, I'd say, pretty well, but JJ just outplayed him and was able to get the win. And then he actually went ahead and played a match against Rudy because Rudy was going away on vacation. So he had a 5-0 win against Rudy of the Detroit Pinsirs, and that was just a great battle for Chris. He did his homework. He played really well, and he deserved the win completely. His upcoming match, I should say, is in round 7 against the Raider Rhydons or AB. That'll be a good match to watch, and I'm sure it'll be a tough match for both of them. His team MVP so far is Volcarona with 21 points. His record's 4-3 with a differential +6. In 14th place, with the St. Louis Rapidos are at Jello Hot Dog WTF1. Jello is a pretty consistent battler, as you can see. He's 3-3. In round 5, he had a 2-0 loss against Tennessee Raichus, and he battled pretty well in that battle. It's just that Shadow was able to use Shadow's tactics against him, and it was just he was able to pull through in the end. And in round 6, he had a 3-0 win versus the Shield of Aegis with Akira, and the battle was a little hacky. There was a couple crits that mattered, but altogether, I'd say the Jello outplayed him and deserved to win. In round 7, he has to battle the Pori Arcanines, which is Nuclear Android. In round 8, he's battling the New Orleans Shuckles, which is Ryan. His team MVP so far is the MVP for the entire league, which is Mega Trinitar with 36 points. His record is 3-3 with a differential +4. In 15th place with the Baltimore Braviaries are at Under the Radar YT or YouTube, and this is Kelly. In round 5, he had a 4 loss against Action Milan. I'd say he almost threw away the battle on the first turn because he had a Cloyster against Sylveon, and he should have known that Sylveon would be able to take the hits and be able to win, or be able to win that one-on-one, I should say. And that's exactly what happened. And Cloyster could have done a good amount of work to Corey's team in that battle, and he just got rid. He lost it. He lost him on the first turn, so he's definitely got to get better about that. In round 6, he had a 4-0 win against New Orleans Chuckles, and that was Ryan. He had a good match. He battled really well there. I'd say he battled significantly better than he did against Corey, but I think that Kelly's going to be able to turn it around. He is making some switches to his team. A trade between him and I just went through, which was Mamoswine and Fortress for Donphan and Cloyster, so that'll be interesting to see how that affects the league. In round 7, he's battling the California Caracostas, and in round 8, he's battling the Chicago Flareons. His team MVP so far is Typhlosion with 27 points. His record's 3-3 with a differential of -2. In 16th place, we have the California Caracostas, or at Texto1234. He's been really slipping in form lately. When we started out the season, I thought he was going to be a contender for the top spot in Omega, and especially after he had that win against Nuclear Android. But in round 5, he had a 2-0 loss against Jody of the Florida Feraligators, and he didn't battle terribly in that game, but he got outplayed, and Jody deserved the win in my opinion. And then in round 6, he had a 2-0 loss against Chicago Flareons, which is Chucho. And I'm not going to say that this was a humongous upset, but Chucho's more of a doubles battler, and he's just now trying to get into singles, and he's trying to make this his thing, and he's getting better at it. But I really thought that Texto was going to pull out this win, so that's a great win for Chucho. So in round 7, he's battling the Baltimore Braviaries, which is Kelly, and then round 8, he's battling the Portland Timbers, which is myself. His record's 3-3 with a differential +3. 17th place with the Chicago Flareons are at Chucho13, and in round 5, Chucho had a 5-0 loss to the Detroit Pinsirs or Rudy, and then round 6, he had a 2-0 win against California Caracosas, which is Texto. Chucho battled really well in that second game, and I was pretty surprised because it was good to see somebody that usually doesn't do their homework or game plan really hard for the game, and he brought a good team, and he was able to pull out his game plan that he brought in. He was able to execute it, which is why he was able to win. So for Chucho, in round 7, he's battling the Toronto Tyrannotars, which is Giovanni, and then in round 8, he's battling the Baltimore Braviaries, which is Kelly. His team MVP so far is Mega Gardevoir with 9 points. His record's 2-4 with a differential of -15. In 18th place with the Toronto Tyrannotars are at Poke Profiles, which is Giovanni. Round 5, his match is postponed. It's against Texas Typhlosions. I'll cover that in a minute. In round 6, he had a 3-0 loss against Surrey Litheo, which is Matt. It was interesting to see a newcomer in the league and last season's champion to really go at it. So Giovanni, I know that he fully understands the format. He's a great battler. He battles VGC, all that stuff. So it's just interesting to see him challenge in this type of format. And I think he's going to get it. Maybe not this season, but next season he'll draft better and understand since he'll understand how the league will work more. In round 7, he's battling the Chicago Flareons, which is Chucho, and then round 8, he's battling the Baltimore Bishops, which is Riley. His team MVP so far is Jordan Cutt with 6 points. His record's 2-3 with a differential of -10. In 19th place with the Baltimore Bishops are at 2015 Just, which is Riley. He's had quite tough slidey games here. In round 5, he had a 5-0 loss against the Rider Rhydons, which is Ab, and in round 6, he had a 5-0 loss against Jabel Relicants. So he's really struggling in those last 2 games. He just got outplayed and outplanned. There wasn't a significant amount of crits or hacks or anything in either game. I just think that Riley just needs to step up his game planning. I know that he's been really busy with school and stuff like that, so that could be playing a significant factor into his gameplay, because I know that he's a great battler and I know that he knows the stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to turn the season around. In round 7, he's battling Surrey Litheo, which is Matt, and in round 8, he's battling the Toronto Tyrannotars. His team MVP so far is Jolteon with 29 points. His record's 1-5 with a differential of -11. In 20th place with the Detroit Pinsirs at Greenscrafty. Rudy's been struggling so far this season, as you can see. In round 5, he picked up a solid 5-0 win against Chucho or the Chicago Flareons. In round 6, he had a 2-0 loss against Corey. He actually battled pretty well in the game. It was really close up until the end. Corey was able to pull it through. And then round 8, he had a really difficult 5-0 loss against San Antonio Shanks, which is Chris. That battle, they had an original battle, and it DC'd toward the end of the battle. It wasn't quite the end, and there was no clear victor in the game, and neither one of them could really decide if anyone was going to be able to pull it through, like who was going to be able to win. So they just had to have a rebattle, and Chris was able to win 5-0 after that. His round 7 match is against Kaprun Litwicks, which is Virdelet, so that'll be a tough battle for him. It'll be interesting to see how he tries to change his team around and if he's going to make any adds or drops before that battle, because I know that Virdelet is going to come in with a great game plan, so it'll be interesting to see how Rudy tries to counter that. His team MVP so far is Azumarill with 9 points. His record's 2-5 with a differential of -13. In 21st place, we have the New Orleans Chuckles are at our Hunter Inn, which is Ryan. Ryan's been struggling this season, but again, Ryan's double battler mainly, so he's still trying to adjust to the singles game, and he's getting better, but he just needs to work on making his preparations for the battle, because from what I've seen, he usually just tends to bring the same exact items on the same Pokemon. He doesn't change movesets or anything like that, even though I think that if he were to start doing that, start making those type of changes, it would really help him and really benefit him. In round 5, he had a 3-0 loss against the Welchions, which is Freedemion. And in round 6, he had a 4-0 loss against the Baltimore Raviaris, which is Kelly. His upcoming matches are round 7 against me, and then round 8 against Jello. His team MVP so far is Gengar with 11 points. His record's 1-5 with a differential of -7. 22nd place with the New Jersey Meganiums are at the effect of 9. Bryle is actually, despite his record of being 0-6, he's been battling much better lately in these last 2 rounds, especially. In round 5, he had a 2-0 loss against the 40 Arcanines, and then in round 6, he had a 2-0 loss against the Welchions. Those were both insanely close battles, and he lost them just about. I'd say that he lost them primarily due to team strength, because he did battle well, but he just needs to make some changes to his team. Like, he needs to get some more power, because he's using a lot of lower tier Pokemon, which is nothing wrong with that, and they are completely viable and useful, especially in leagues like this. But if he just had some more powerful Pokemon, I think he would have possibly been able to pull out a win against one of those two, which is insane since Bryle's winless on the season, and those two are literally the number 2 and the number 1 teams in the league. So I think Bryle is going to get his win sooner than later, but it'll just be interesting because he does have a tough slew of games coming up, because in round 7 he's battling the Axie Milan, which is Corey, and then round 8 he's battling the Kaprun Litwicks, which is Virdelet. His team MVP so far is Rotom Heat with 6 points. His record's 0-6 with a differential of -18. In 23rd place with the Shield of Ages are at Kira Save Us. Kira just changed his Twitter handle recently, so I'd update that. In round 5, he had a 5-0 loss against San Antonio Shanks. In round 6, he had a 3-0 loss against St. Louis Rampardos, which is Jello. He didn't battle terribly again in either of those battles, because Kira really brings cool sets, and he brings good Pokemon. He knows how to battle. He's a good battler. I've seen him battle, and before the LBA or anything like that, and I've seen battles where he's battled well. So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to turn the season around, because I know that he's a good battler and he's smart and he knows he knows Pokemon. So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to change around his team from here on out. In round 7, he's battling Jabel Relicants. In round 8, he's battling Starry Litheo. His team MVP so far is Landers T with 12 points. His team record is 0-6 with a differential of -17. In 24th place, we have the Texas Typhlosions are at Try the Juice. That's a pretty unfair ranking for him, because he's a newcomer in the league. He hasn't really had a chance to do anything so far, but he has an 0-4 record because he's taking over for @Man3 Spider, and his team formerly was called the San Francisco Darkrais, and now he renamed them to the Texas Typhlosions. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the league, and from what I've heard from everybody else in the league, 'cause I don't know him all that well personally, he's a great guy, he's a good battler, so I hope that he's able to find his feet in the league, and I hope that he is able to make some changes and get some wins, because from what I've heard, everybody likes him and he's a good guy. So we may bypass the relegation for Alpha Division, since we have so many newcomers in that side already, since we already have 2, and it'd be pretty unfair for somebody to come in the league that everybody likes and that is a great battler to get kicked out and have to qualify again to tryouts. But it'll be interesting to see. That's something that we'll have to decide later on as a league. But for now, he just has to focus on his battles that are upcoming. In round 5, he has to battle the Toronto Trainers, which is Giovanni, because he's still yet to play that because that match is postponed. Then in round 6, He actually had already battled that, which is lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is Bogut. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles this season and see how he is able to cope with the new game style. In round 7, he's got a tough match. It'll be the Welshians or at Freedomion. In round 8, he's battling the Tennessee Raichus, which is Shadow. So he's literally got to battle the top 2 alpha battlers in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see how Juice handles this. He doesn't really have a team MVP so far. His record's 0-5 with a differential of -18. So that's everything from the LBA Power Rankings number 3. I'm going to try to be more consistent with these uploads. I've just been really busy with school. This would have been out sooner also had people been able to get their battle scheduled and finished on time, but I know that it's in the middle of the school year and people are really busy because I'm really busy all the time, so I completely understand people not being able to get them done on time, but the more battles that we have done on time, the faster I can get these out because I don't want to have too many postponements on the power rankings because it really hinders my ability to effectively rank the teams. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes, and I hope that everyone is able to continue to compete in the divisions even out somewhat, because in the crossover matches so far, Alpha completely just dominated Omega. Omega was only able to get 2 wins out of the 12 matches between the 2 divisions, so it'll be interesting to see how the 2 divisions compare again next time that they match up, which is going to be in round 8 or 9, I believe. I believe it's round 9. So it'll be interesting to see how the 2 divisions compare after that round. So I think that's everything from the LBA Power Rankings number 3, and thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.